Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Keith with Profit Lifter, and today we are going to take some time and talk about website strategies. The reason we're going to be talking about this today is because your website is one of the most critically important parts of your business, and I want to make sure that you've got everything that you need to build your website and that you've got a strategy. Because at the end of the day, just having a website is awesome, but having it actually be an essential part of your business, the center hub of everything you do, that is the goal, is to be able to get you to a point where it is that you are that you're really leveraging your website, that you're using it to the best of its ability. And I'm going to show you today like different ways that you can be using this, and different ways that you're going to be able to be able to grow your website. We're going to go over strategies of where to start, where to go from there, just kind of what the process looks like owning a website. So let's hop in. Let's get going today. So why do you need a website? Like we all know that having a website is important, but it's no longer just an option. It's not something. If I'm talking with a business owner and they say, "Oh, I don't have a website," I don't really believe that they're running a business. Part of that is because of what I do, but the other side is that if I'm looking to work with somebody, I want to find out who they are. So having a website isn't just a commodity anymore. It's not just something like, oh, maybe someday I'll get it. It's something you need right now. And so while we're talking about this, let's go over why you need it. So first off, your website is a 24/7 digital storefront. Your business never sleeps. It's always there. Somebody's browsing at 3:30 in the morning. They can hit your website. They can order. They can do everything that they need to do. It gives your leads and customers a chance to discover, learn, and buy from you anytime, anywhere, automated, following with your follow-up sequences, everything. It's your chance for somebody to come in. And truth of the matter is this. If let's say you have an office space, or let's say you even have a retail store, there is that you will still get way more traffic to your website than you will your office or your store ever. And the reason is because everybody's going to your website to see if they want to work with you and who you are, how it's all going to work together. Having your website in order is not something that you should do. It's something that you have to do. Again, this is your storefront. This is your brand. It's where you put everything together. And the second point of this is it's actually where you build trust and credibility. A professional website establishes authority and gives your customers confidence in your business. If you say that you do something and you send somebody to your website and it shows clean and professional and shows exactly what you do, it reiterates what you had just talked with them about, it helps solidify sales. It gets them to a point that they trust what you're saying and trust what you're doing at that point. And then lastly, this is probably the most critical part. It captures leads and drives sales. Convert visitors into customers with strategic call to actions and lead capture systems. Again, your goal for having a website isn't just to have something up that looks good, that people can go and do stuff. It's to capture leads. If your website is not a lead generation machine, if it's not capturing leads, you're spending a lot of time doing things that you really don't need to. Your goal is to convert them. And this can be with lead magnets. This can be with appointments. It could be with online sales. It could be with Tripwire. It could be with newsletters. It could be just basically anything that you have that you can put in front of people. This is how you're going to be converting them. Because again, more people are going to come to your website than ever see you face to face or step inside of your office or retail store. So your website needs to be top notch. Bottom line, though, your website isn't optional. It's the foundation for your digital presence. And that is by far the first thing that you got to keep in mind. Now, you look at me and you say, Keith, that's great. That's awesome. I love this, but I'm new. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I have dealt with thousands of customers just like you who have been through the website journey, who have started with an idea, a concept of a business, and then really built it up and grown into something significant. And a lot of them are still out there just rocking and rolling, making money. But there's a journey to building your website. And I experienced this journey when I'm building my websites. Clients experience it. It's just kind of a universal thing. And I find that a lot of times as business owners, like people that are newer jump in and they've got like these big expectations of like this just ginormous website. It doesn't take all that. So here's the journey that we've seen that's defined itself over and over and over again. Um, the first thing to understand, your website isn't a built once and it's done. It's something that adapts, it grows, it breathes, it moves with your business. It's supposed to expand as your business expands, as your offering increases and grows, your website increases and grows. And with that, you've got to keep them, you've got to be flexible with it. And you've got to find ways to be able to make it work with you. So if you come to me and you go, Keith, I'm just getting started. I just, I need a website. I'm just getting things going. I don't know where to start. The first thing that you want to start with is like an essentials website. This is going to be your foundation to get live quickly. And the reason that you want to get live quickly is this. You could spend months, even a year to building the perfect website. And it could take a long time to get into building something that's just exactly perfect. But the problem is, as a new business, you don't have the definition of perfect, meaning that like as a new business, you may be getting out there launching something, have a product, maybe have two products or services that you're offering, but you haven't had a chance to really define out what this process looks like. Maybe you're still figuring out different things to wrap around it. You're still working through your call to actions, your lead gen strategies. All of this is stuff that you're going to learn in the course of business. But the goal is to get to market as fast as you can when you're in startup mode. Meaning that right now, like if you're watching, you're like, hey Keith, I'm trying to start a business. I need to get things out there. Get a quick and easy website. Like an AI website is perfect for getting started. Just get out there, get something, and start selling. And I know it's the center hub. We just covered all that. But the other side of it is this, is if people see a professional website and it doesn't answer all their questions, they're a lot more likely to sit down with you and talk with you, even though your website didn't answer their questions, because you have that professional presence out there. You're in front of people, you're talking with them. So get your site up quick if you're just getting started. From there, you're going to go into the enhancement phase. And I find this can take some time. Like, I'll be honest, for me, it took about a year of really being out there, having our content there, trying to pitch different things and figuring out, okay, here's really our UVP in the marketplace. Here's our unique value propositions. Here's how we're approaching people. Here's our lead magnets. Here's how we want to go about it. And then from there, we started building all of these things around our current structure. And this would be the same thing that you're doing, is instead of going out and being like, oh, well, I have a new product, I need a whole new website. You may just need to add another page. You may just need to add a little bit of content into what you've already got there to accentuate it, to make it sexier, to make sure that it's meeting the needs of what you have there. So the enhancement phase is really important, because this is where you're going to start testing different pieces, different things that you're using with your market to see what they like, to see what they're biting into. And then from there, after you've been through some enhancements, now this is where you start testing. Because as you're adding all of this, you want to find out, is what I'm talking about critical? Is this important for the people who are watching or the people who are coming to my site? This is where you're going to start watching your conversions and start optimizing your content. Now, you see these three things, these seem like a lot, but they're not. This is something that's going to happen over time. And you'll start to notice, like, as you work on this may be a 6-month, a year process of kind of getting in, defining what you're doing, working through things, testing. But while you're going through this, some of your testing isn't just happening on the website. These can be like funnels that you're adding to your website, conversion funnels, your actual sales process. All this stuff is what you're testing to optimize it. Then once you get to a point where you're like, look, I got my strategy locked down, I got my pricing locked down, I got my UVPs in order, like you know that at this point in time, you're ready to really start stepping on the gas, getting leads in, and start moving forward. And this is when you start looking at a custom build. And a custom build is going to be complex. It's going to be something you're probably not going to be able to accomplish on your own. But this is where you're going to really define your brand and almost solidify it in the marketplace as one of the leaders in your industry. This is where you're going to have like the high CSS effects or the movements, the different things, the swirly things, the things that pop all over the place. This is where you want to spend time really having your voice nailed down. Now, the reason that you can do this at step 4 is because you've worked through all this through steps 1, 2, and 3. You've taken the time to get live, start speaking with people, work on your new products, work on your UVPs, test to figure out what's working. So that way, when you sit down with an expert to build a custom website, now you're confident knowing what you need and what you're looking for to move forward. This is the time that you really invest into your website. And I have a lot of people who come to me and like, hey, I need a new website, and they want to just go in and just drop big bucks on it. It doesn't take all that. Until you've gotten to the point where you've got consistent revenue, keep it simple, grow it, build it, test it, experiment with it, start playing around, figure out what works. And then as you start getting that formula down, that's when your custom site really starts to take place and becomes something that is effective. So let's break this down. Stage 1, you want to start with the essentials. Launch smart, not perfect. I've got a good friend of mine that has him and I went through conferences together. We have this have a friend of ours that use this saying all the time. Done is better than perfect because perfect never gets done. And I 100% believe this. Done is better than perfect because if you try to perfect a website while you're just a brand new business and you haven't really been out there selling, you're going to struggle with it because you don't know well, I'll just put it straight. You don't know what you're doing yet. You haven't defined who you are, what you're doing, all the things that we just talked about. You've got to get through that. So launch smart. Start with a simple homepage with clear messaging, basic branding that reflects your identity, having images in there that show people that are happy, that meet with what's happening. Have one powerful call to action. Don't worry about convoluting it and having all these different things. Give them one powerful call to action to go through. And then the most important part, make sure it's mobile responsive design. Make sure that it fits on mobile sites, desktop sites, everything. The trick of what you're trying to accomplish here is not to overcomplicate your launch. Focus on clarity and getting live quickly. The more that you spend time on trying to perfect, the further out you get from actually launching your brand, launching your business. So you want to start smart, launch smart, not perfect, and then focus on getting it out there and then making it work. Now, if you need this is actually a Profit Lifter AI website. It's actually built into every one of our accounts. This is like, I built this for you because I want you to have a website that gets you out there and gets you moving and actually does what you need to do. Does what you need to do to be able to get things moving forward. So that's stage 1. Sorry, my wife is messaging me over here. So that's stage 1. Stage 2, this is where things start to get more complex. This is where you're going to be adding to your website. So when you start adding to your website, these are going to be like expanding your pages. This could be like adding an About Us section, adding things that are services, adding new services that you're doing, contact information. As you're collecting testimonials, building testimonials into the pages. If you're just adding new pages, adding more content, adding your call to actions, adding your lead magnets. This is where you are going to be just playing around with it, figuring out what works and starting to incorporate the tools that you're building to be able to convert more people. And stage 2, this is where you should be incorporating your basic automations. These should be your email captures, contact forms, simple follow-up sequences to nurture your leads. This shouldn't be something that you feel like you have to go through and build like this big complex funnel. Keep it simple, sweetie. Like, make it real easy. And this is a point when you get into expanding your website that you may look at and go, man, you know what? I want to collect online payments. I need a payment page. And this would fall into some of your basic automations of incorporating online payments, making it where if you're offering contracts or you're doing estimates, that people can sign up for a quote and you can collect information from them. This is where you are going to start to figure out, this is the phase where you're starting to use your website and figuring out what's working and what's not working for you. The reason that you don't want to jump into a custom site right out of the gate is because as you start using this site, you're going to figure out like, man, okay, I love this lead magnet concept, but it doesn't really convert, or it's not really producing the type of customers that I'm looking for. So you want to make sure that you're actually out there incorporating that you're actually out there testing it, using it as a tool, not just having it up as a placeholder. And then the third one is going to align to your brand identity. And while you're updating things, when you start getting the reason, sorry, my words are getting ahead of my brain's getting ahead of my words. So the reason that I want you to start with something simple and start expanding it is as you get out there and you start selling and you start pitching people, you're going to start to define your sales process. You're going to figure out what converts your clients and what makes it easy for you to engage with people. And this becomes a part of your brand. This becomes who you are in a nutshell, really moving people through the process, helping them to understand who you are, helping to move them along in the process so that you produce the type of customers that you're happy with that get the best results. Now, if you're doing this on your own, which I highly recommend that you do to some degree. Why? Because as you learn how to build your website, now you're going to be able to have input when you get to the custom website. Not that you have to know all the terminology and the blah, blah, blahs, but it's going to help you with this. Now, to do this, what we've done is we've actually created the prompt portal, which you'll be able to go in and use AI agents from like ChatGPT to go in and actually build the pages for you, to add the images, add the content, all of it. Because at the end of the day, like knowing how to build a website's great, but it's maybe not exactly what you do. So that's where we've incorporated the tools to be able to help you grow your website and get to that point. Now, let's talk about stage 3, because this is where it gets fun. This is where you're going to be testing your funnels, your call to actions. This is where you are turning your website into changing your website from just an online placeholder to a lead generation machine. And with this, you want to start looking at like lead magnets. What are valuable offers that you can create that will capture information to build your email list? We're going to take a little break here. We're going to go on a small rabbit trail because this is important. Every business owner that I talk to wants to collect leads. When I start talking about lead magnets with them, their eyes gloss over. They're like, I don't need an email list. I need leads. Okay, sweetie, your email list equals leads when you start marketing and marketing to your email list. Lead magnets get people in for cheap. Then you follow up with them with AI, with email contents, with blogs, with YouTube videos, with lives, with all the things that you're doing. You're constantly marketing to them. You're constantly advertising, or not advertising, but you're just dripping to them. You're sharing content. You're sharing valuable information. This is how you generate leads. If you go to somebody and you're saying, I want to buy leads, they're gonna sell them to you at a premium. It could be $50, $60. We have people that buy leads for $150, $250 a pop. The reason they buy them that cheap is because somebody else has gone through, gotten somebody for really cheap, maybe $1, 50 cents or $1 on a lead magnet, nurtured it, got them to the point where they go, ooh, I'm ready to buy, and then they're selling it. Because they took that customer through the journey, they're charging a premium. You don't have to pay those premiums. You can build your own journey. And the lead magnet is the first step to that, getting people to opt in with you so you can capture their information and make it so that they're able to, that you're able to follow up with them and build that relationship until they're ready to buy. The next thing that you want to be watching and testing for is going to be your sales funnels. And your sales funnel is going to guide prospects through strategic sequences from awareness to purchase. Meaning that you get somebody in, you're making introductions, you're explaining what you do, you're showing them pricing, you're moving them strategically through a process of purchasing with you. This is a critical piece because with this is something that is going to be how you're going to be closing sales. Having your sales funnel in order and testing this is crucial because what you'll find is that when you start putting people in here, it's going to change the content of everything else around your website. Because as your sales funnel starts to take place, you're going to look at it and go, oh, wait, I'm saying this down here, but my website says this. Let's rearrange our content on our website to match to create a cohesive flow for somebody who's coming through and working with us. And the way that you do this is with split testing. This is where you're going to be testing buttons. This is where you're going to test buttons, copy, layouts to optimize conversion, performance. Like this is where you just start little tweaks every now and then, like weekly, go through and testing it. And if you want more information on split testing, we have a YouTube video out on our channel that talks exactly about this. I spent a whole lesson just talking about split testing and showing how it works. But split testing is going to be critical to be able to do this, because you're not going to know what actually works until you start split testing. And then that's when you start moving to your next stage 4. Stage 3, though, is all about measurement. It's about improving. It's about every test that's going to teach you what resonates with your audience, what people are looking for, what they're listening to, what they're going to bite on. And to help you with this, we've created the tools to be able to help you with this. This can be optimization tools like SnapOns that provide pre-built funnels, automations, and page elements that are ready to deploy. So you don't have to sit there and guess and be like, what am I going to do? It's already done. It's already built in. It's very easy. We make it simple for you to be able to add this, because at the end of the day, again, your goal is to be able to sell your product. It's not to necessarily build websites. We've simplified this process so that you don't have to know how to build it. You can leverage things like the SnapOns Library, like the prompt portal, like the AI website, to be able to get to this point with minimal effort. So instead of spending hours and hours and hours learning what padding and margins and sections and blah, 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 all this stuff is, you can literally just go in and load it and then just start split testing from there and just try different things. So don't be afraid of getting into this. This sounds intimidating, but it's not near as bad as you think it is. All right, stage 4 is going to be go custom with confidence. Once your brand message is clear, it's proven, you've had a chance to pitch it, you've had a chance, you know that it converts, you know that what you're doing is working, you get to a point, you've got some money, you start stocking up, you start stacking your assets. This is when it's time to invest in a high quality custom design. The reason you want a high quality custom design is this. One, it's going to reflect your authority. When people come to your website and it just looks better than your competition, they feel better about working with you. Excuse me. Custom designs showcase your expertise and set you apart from your competitors. And the reason that this works so well isn't because of like the layout of the site. It's custom because it's taking your customer journey. It's taking your unique value propositions that you've been developing over the past 6 months to a year. And now it's strategically implementing them into your sales pitch of a website and turning it into something that actually converts people the exact same way your sales pitch does. The next thing it should be doing is tell your story. Unique layouts and content that capture your brand voice and your customer journey. With custom websites, you start getting into custom images. And this could be like product images. This could be custom graphics that you have built. This could be anything, really. It's custom images from like client jobs, things like that. This is where you are incorporating your personal touch to it, that people go to it and know that it's yours. And then lastly, your custom website at this point should be maximizing your conversions. Strategic design elements proven to increase engagement and sales. Again, you've been split testing these. You know what's already working. Now you're going to have that real automation, that custom design, the effects, the movements, the really slick look to it that's going to make people more comfortable about opting in with you. And if you need premium solutions like this, we actually have custom website builders that we have inside of our Profit Shop. These are going to be professional, custom crafted websites. Some people build on the Profit Lifter website builder. Other people will build just inside of their own platforms like WordPress or Joomla or all these different places. At the end of the day, when you get to this point, this isn't about you handling it anymore. This is about you having the people there who are building it that you can go back to and have them tweak it, because you should have worked past this. You should have earned past this at this point. This is where you get into really getting out in the market. So how are you going to tie it all together? Here's how you tie it all together with Profit Lifter. You're going to start with an AI website. Launch fast with intelligent automation. Get in there, get launched with speed. Get out, get in the marketplace, start pitching, start networking, start talking to people. And then from there, as you're figuring out your pitch, as you're figuring out your unique value propositions, this is where the prompt portal is going to come in, because now you're going to be able to go in and have your AI agents go through and actually build out your website and add pages and add the sections that you're looking for. And then from there, as you're moving forward, you're going to start testing and running ads. You're going to start trying different funnels. You're going to start trying webinars. You're going to start trying video sales letters. You're going to try all these different tools that we built for you in the SnapOn library that's going to allow you the opportunity to see what you need to add to your website that's going to have the highest converting effect. And I'll give you a great example. Like I've tested several different things on our website. And I'll be honest, I don't like webinars. I don't like doing webinars. I love going live. I do it weekly. I do it more than weekly. I do a lot. But when it comes to webinars, I've always struggled with that. And so like when people come to me and they're like, hey, I want to have a webinar embedded on my website. I'm like, why would you do that? And then we sit down and we look at their analytics. I'm like, okay, that's exactly why you want to do that, because their webinars were converting really well. This is where you're going to be testing. This is where you're going to figure out, okay, here's my exact customer journey. Here's what happens. They're going to go to my website. They're going to schedule a consultation. From there, we're going to send them to a video sales letter. And that video sales letter is going to take them to a funnel with all of our videos and all of our conversions. When they engage, now we're going to retarget them with ads. And now we're going to move them to actually checking out online and moving through there. If they don't do that, now we're going to be sending them to testimonial pages. We're going to be sending blogs to them every week. We're going to be sending them YouTube videos to show them all the stuff we're doing. This is how the process works, is that you start putting all of it together and you figure out your strategy of how you're going to convert your people who are coming in into leads that are going to turn into sales. And then once you've gotten that down and you're like, and you keep working with it, you're like, okay, you know what? My website kind of feels out of date. It feels like it's maybe a little dated. It needs to be freshened up. That's when you're going to hop in the profit shop, hire an expert to come out and actually build your website from the ground up and really make it custom, make it better than and different than what anybody else has out there, and capture your brand. Every step of your website journey has a purpose-built tool for it. There's no guesswork. There's no growth, because I've been through this thousands of times. I know what it takes, and this is the journey that every person goes through. Now, people who come to me are like, oh, Keith, I want to start with a custom website. It always ends up costing way more than it should, because when you start with something custom, now you have to go back through and you have to pay them to update your funnels. Now you have to pay them to test out the different funnels, to test out different integrations, to do all of this. You've got to pay them to go in and update the content to match your brand. If you're updating UVPs, now you got to go back to them, and now they're going to be looking at that. Not having when you don't have everything in order the way that you're supposed to, it costs more on the custom websites, and it turns into a waste of money. And this is what I want you to avoid. I want you to be strategic about your growth and grow when you need to, not when you feel like you have to. It's not guessing. It's a pattern, and it happens with all of it. So what are some tips that you can do right now to be optimizing your website and to be able to get you to that point where you may be looking at like a custom website? First one I'm going to tell you: craft your message with the Profit Lifter UVP strategy. Using our unique value proposition framework, you can create compelling, differentiated messaging. And this is the first thing that we go through. Like when you go through onboarding and you go through and you fill out your account customizer with us, we're going to ask you what your 5 UVPs are. And this is going to be like first one's like, why should somebody work with you? Second one could be, why is your customer support better? Tell us about your product. What makes your product superior to everybody else's? And we actually help you to come up with these unique value propositions, because at the end of the day, what makes you unique from somebody else who may be doing the exact same thing with you is going to be how you operate your business. And being able to define those unique value propositions separates you from everybody else out in the marketplace. And for a lot of you guys who are coming in, and a lot of you guys that are getting started, maybe like reselling somebody else's services or white labeling other products, this is so key and critical, because if you just go at it with the UVPs of the product that you're selling, you're going to sound just like everybody else out there. But when you start to define your secret sauce and you start to go out and say, this is what makes me the most awesome person ever, that's when people are going to start to buy into you, because now you're going to resonate with what they're looking for. If you just have generic industry content on your website, it feels generic and it feels like you're nothing special. But when you start defining your value propositions, why you are the person that they should be working with, now people will start to engage with you because you are different than everybody else they've talked to. Now, next step is going to be test one element at a time. When you get into split testing, it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm just going to create a whole nother page, So doing that is a bad idea, because if you have two different pages with the same content on it, it'll get to a point where you're not, or when you start trying to figure out why one page is converting, you're not going to know, because you got two different things. But if you start with one page and then you just change the headline and you get a 2% improvement, that's awesome. Now you're going to be able to. Now you've got 2%. Now you can go to your sub headlines, your call to actions, all these different things, and then from there, now you're going to be able to go from 2% to 5% to maybe 10%. That's why you want to test one element at a time, is because then you can find out exactly what is converting people. Looks like we have a comment here. Good day, Keith. How are you? Doing well. Thanks for asking. You had an offer for the AI employees. Unfortunately, I was out of the country. We do have that. We do still have that available. I'll have Brett reach out to you as soon as I'm done here and connect with you on that and make sure that we get you taken care of. We got you covered. We're still here to help, and we'd be more than happy to work with you through that. All right. So the third tip for you on website optimization is this. Mobile first design is a non-negotiable. Over 60% of web traffic comes from mobile devices. You need to make sure that your website performs flawlessly on mobile. Again, over half of the traffic that's coming to you is coming from a mobile website. If you do not optimize your website for mobile, then you're throwing away 60% of the views that you're going to look for. And then the last one is going to be add social proof early and often. Testimonials, reviews, case studies, these build immediate trust with new visitors. So use this. It's actually one of our essential snap-ons that we have in the system in your Profit Lifter account, is automated reviews that you can trigger to send out to people after you've met with them, after you've consulted with them, after they've gotten some of your products. The key here is to make sure that you're constantly getting people to talk about you. And look, I'll tell you a secret, and I'm terrible about this. I don't like sending out reviews if I don't think I'm going to get 5 stars. Like, I got that perfectionist side of me. Is like, oh, it's got to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. People trust when they go to a website and they see that you've got a 4.8 opposed to a 5-star, because it shows that you're human and that you may not be perfect, but overall you're really, really good. And that's what people are looking for. All right. My pro tip for all of these is this. If content creation or design isn't your strength, if you struggle with some things, because look, there are some of you guys that you're like, hey, look at this thing I designed. And I look at it and I'm like, it's freaking hideous. Like, this is just, it's ugly. It's terrible. It's not, you shouldn't be showing this to people. There are some of us that are not great at designs. There are some of us who are not great at writing content. This is where AI and professional help is going to step in and work with you. Your time is better spent growing your business. If you struggle with doing this stuff, if you struggle with knowing what looks good, if you struggle with knowing how to write content that converts, that's where you want to start incorporating others. That's when you want to start bringing in experts to be a part of the process, to work with you, to be able to help you out where you need help at that point. So here's my final thoughts for today. Your website is a living asset. Let your website grow and evolve with your business needs. Every stage serves a strategic purpose. Don't skip steps. Again, don't skip steps. Skipping steps will cost you unnecessary money. It's going to cost you unnecessary time. My goal with this pattern is to get you out there, get you launched as fast as you can, get you generating revenue just almost instantly, because now you have a website. Now you can start selling. Now you can start converting leads, getting people out there. If you start skipping steps, now you're going to be investing thousands of dollars into a custom website when you're not making any sales yet. You do not want that. You want to start easy, get out there, get going. And then as things start growing, that's when you really want to take a step back and start really planning out what a custom website looks like. So the next one's going to be build a solid foundation first and then expand intelligently. Exactly what I just said. And the beauty of it is we are here to support your growth at every milestone. If you haven't caught this yet, my goal is to make this so easy for you that you don't have to feel like you have to go out and hire people, that you don't have to go out and have all these people working for you, that you can leverage the tools that we're building for you in Profit Lifter and AI to be able to accomplish everything that you're looking for inside of your business. Remember, success isn't about perfection from day one. It's about consistent strategic improvements that compound over time. Done is better than perfect, because perfect never gets done. Perfection is not something that is ever achievable, because as soon as something's perfect, you're going to figure out a way to make it better. It's about consistent strategic improvements that compound over time. It's little actions. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you build your perfect website? One element at a time. Figuring out the little things that you can do that start to build the value of what you're doing, that start to build your website and start to work on converting people. So you ready to get started? Do you have your website? If you're just getting started out, like I said, Profit Lifter, we've got AI websites built into every account for you. We can help you out. We can get your website set up today and launch your digital presence in hours, not even days, hours, not weeks. And we can help make sure that it's branded, has all your colors. We'll help you write your 5 unique value propositions, get you in, get you going, make sure that you got everything there, and then show you the tools and walk you through those tools to be able to follow this journey. And then when you're ready for custom, we can help you out there. We have people, we have experts that we partner with that will come out and do custom builds for you and actually help you create exactly what you're looking for. Now, one of the things that if you are a client of ours and you are already working with us, I want to show you this because this is actually really, really fun. This is just a little bonus for you guys who are hanging out with me here. We have introduced our community into the actual CRM, into our Profit Lifter CRM. The reason that I did this is very simple. I figured out a while ago that I have not been able, it's really hard for me to be accessible when you have hundreds of clients. Brett and I have both feel the same thing. And so now with the community, if you have questions, you can come in here and go, oh, you know what? I got a question for Brett. He never called me back. And so now you can go, now you can message us directly. And so instead of having to wait for appointments, instead of having to call and hope we're available, you can literally log into your Profit Shop community, or you can really literally log into your Profit Lifter community, go to your chat and message us directly and get much faster results rather than waiting for us to come back and work with you. So if you have any questions, check us out. You can find us at profitlifter.com. We'd love to help you and work with you. And if you need anything else, just let us know. We're always here. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week, and we'll see you.